Okay, talk about things happening when you least expect it. First off, can you tell that I'm filming this on Valentine's Day? Very subtle. Okay, so a little bit of backstory before I jump in. I, every year, do a bingo card of my goals for the year. It was something I saw on TikTok. I can't take credit for it, but I started it last year. I did it again for this year. It's just fun. It like makes it a little bit more exciting than just like checking a box. I like came up with extra prizes I would get myself if I scored a bingo. Spoiler alert, I did not get a bingo last year, but I still accomplished like a decent amount of my goals. If you achieve all of your goals for the year, you're not pushing yourself enough, is my perspective. So I feel okay about it. Anyway, one of the goals was that I wanted my products in a Chicago retailer, which I felt like was a very attainable goal. At the time that I set that goal, I had my stuff in a few stores here in Milwaukee, and I felt like Chicago's like an hour and a half away if you plan it right with traffic. And that like should not be a problem. I had reached out to a few of them and got absolute crickets, not even like a no thank you, just silence. And so that I like really easily got discouraged by that and kind of gave up the proactive pursuit of a Chicago store. I also felt like once I started working on Fair more intensely during the summer, these stores from like other states were kind of just rolling in, finding me from Fair. And I thought, well, surely a Chicago store is also going to find me that way. But I was wrong. I just didn't get to fill in that box on the bingo card. So I rolled it over to this year's bingo card thinking, this cannot be that hard to achieve. But something that happens for me when I have a goal that in my head is not that hard to achieve and then I don't achieve it, I start coming up with like all these stories and reasons for why I didn't attain that goal. It results in a lot of like negative self-talk. It's a lot of like, you don't work hard enough, you're not making enough outreach, you should have contacted 100 stores in order to find one. And that's just, it becomes this like really, really dark negative cycle of thoughts. I feel like setting a goal is not worth it if that's what you're going to do when you don't hit it. So that's a whole other video. This past Thursday, I was actually down in Chicago because I had a haircut. I know it seems a long way to go for a haircut. It's the woman who did my hair for my wedding. I've known her for forever. I trust her. I don't get my hair cut that often. It's not that long of a drive. I don't know why I feel the need to justify to anyone, but in case you were wondering, that's why. And I'm sitting in Goddess and Grocer for lunch, eating my little bagel sandwich, and I get a Fair message that pops up on my phone, and it is a Chicago store that I know saying, we're in a bit of a pickle. We expected a shipment of something that is not going to arrive on time. Could you get us 60 Brazilian rose lip balms by Monday? But like, this is so how my business has worked thus far. Every approach that I think makes sense, that I feel like I've gotten advice on, this is how you do it, nothing comes of it. And then randomly out of the blue, something happens that like is so different from what I would have expected. So that message comes in, and immediately, this is also something that I do regularly that you might relate to, is that before my brain can even enjoy or celebrate the fact that like I'm about to check off a goal for the year and it's only beginning of February, I was like, oh my God, I don't even know if I have the supplies for 60 lip balms. I don't have time to order more supplies before I need to ship this out tomorrow. So that isn't even an option. I'm in a different city, so I can't even go check my inventory. I will say, huge endorsement for Inventora, just coming from myself, that actually kind of saved me because I could log into my Inventora and check my supplies and know that, yes, I do actually have everything I need to do this tomorrow. So I could message them back and be like, yes, I can make that happen. And it was just, I don't know, it all happened so fast that it took me a second. I actually didn't think right off the bat, oh wait, this fulfills a goal for me. It was more the panic of, I don't know, can I do that? And then when it sort of settled in that it's like, oh my gosh, look at how random this opportunity to do something I've been wanting to do since last year. And now it was like all complete within the span of 24 hours because I came back home that night, and then the next morning made the lip balms, packaged them up, and shipped them out. And it was like, okay, boom, done. I'm not sure how many times it's gonna have to happen this way before it sinks in that this is kind of the ideal way for something to happen, because now I'm just reacting to something that has been thrown my way, and there isn't enough time to like beat myself up about how I've executed something or how I haven't done enough work to achieve something that I want. And obviously everybody's different. Everybody's work style is different. This is sort of how my business has continued to be successful. I feel like so many things end up being that I have to be like called to fulfill something, to fulfill an opportunity, instead of clawing after something, not knowing if it's the right fit or not. It's just like what I think I need for whatever reason. Mostly because like other people have told me that's what I need. And I need to apply this thought process to other parts of my business. I think for me, the biggest one that it's hard to switch my thoughts around is like social media. I feel like there's so much information about like posting three to 5 times a day or once a day, or this kind of content, here's how you do whatever, this is how I grew my account. It's so much, and every time I try to do it the way that somebody else has shared that it works for them, I just fall flat. It just ends up being so much effort for so little reward. And I think I need to like really listen to what do I actually feel called to do. And you know, whatever, you can make that as woo-woo as you want to, or you can just say like, this is what my target market seems to want from me, like in a more, I don't know, practical phrasing, if that's what you respond to. But I think that that's going to be a big focus for me this year, is instead of really trying to look to other people for advice on how I'm going to grow my Instagram account or TikTok account or whatever, I have to be more intentional about like listening to what I'm being called to do, or like what people are asking for from me, and do that instead of what seems to be like the popular advice of the moment. And just a little bit of a side note, another one of my goals from the bingo card for this year was 10,000 views on a single video here on YouTube. The most I had gotten, I think, was like 4,000. And so I pushed myself a little bit. I wasn't sure how I was gonna get there, but I just put it on the list because I wanted, it's not so much that like the number matters to me, it's that it means that like I'm moving in the right direction, if that makes sense. And I hit that with like my first video of the year. It didn't get to 10,000 views until February, but I just wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who watched, not just that video, but just follows along. And I continue to get such supportive comments on my videos. I feel like I haven't gotten anything negative, and which seems uncanny. I'm sure I'm overdue then for something bad, but it's hard for me to really verbalize how much that means to me. Even if I don't respond to a comment, it's mostly because I get overwhelmed. It's not because it doesn't mean as much to me, and it's not that I don't want to respond, but I just want to say thank you so much. In a very tangible way, you are all helping me continue getting to do this, because if I don't get any sort of feedback, like positive feedback from a pursuit, I will give up pretty fast. So thank you for directly or indirectly encouraging me to not give up on this. It means a lot. I really appreciate it. That's my little story. Hope that it's a good reminder to you that really someone else's playbook is ultimately not necessarily going to steer you where you need to go, whether that's in business or in life. And this was my just tiny little example of how that's very, very true. Thank you so much for watching. Find a way to be kind to yourself and listen to yourself today. And hopefully I will see you in my next video.